come on in and take your seats. We've got a busy day. I already have your whiteboard, your dry erase markers, and your erasers on your desk. You're going to need them. Yesterday we talked about we're going to be discussing multiplying and dividing integers. So, real excited about this. You're going to need your interactive notebook, and I need my paper passer outers to come forward, and I need you to take and give each person one of these interactive notebook notes, because we're going to be taking notes on this in just a minute. Okay, you're going to need your pencils, erasers, markers, colored pencils, whatever you use to take notes with. So we're going to, everyone be in your seats in 10, 9, 8, 7. The only people up are the paper passer outers. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Now, what can you tell me about multiplying and dividing integers? Lily, what can you tell me? Yes, we can use positive and negative integers. Very good. But can you give me some vocabulary words? Adam, thank you for volunteering. Yes, integers, positive, negative, multiply, divide. Very good. Well, do you know that is why that your multiplication and your division facts are so important? All right. Now, we're going to, when we get finished with this lesson, each and every one of you are going to be experts in knowing what sign to give your product and your quotient. So each student will be able to use the love-hate analogy to explain their answers to multiplication and division problems with integers. What do you think the love-hate analogy is? Well, that's right. Yeah, because we love to love, we hate to hate. Be thinking about that, because we're going to know what that is when we give our notes. Okay, well, let's think about this too. Another thing that we're going to talk about today is we're going to talk about our character education for this week. Does anybody remember what we're talking about? Keith, you know what it is? Respect. That's right. Well, what does respect mean? What does it mean, Debbie? Absolutely. Showing consideration for other people and their property. Well, Adam, how do we show respect? Absolutely. Using kind words and good manners. What, is there something else we could use? Cole, what do you think? I like it. Give you a high five, hands up, spirit fingers. Be sensitive to other people's feelings. I like it. All right. So, let's just jump right into this with both feet. Now, if you will look on your desk beside your interactive notebook notes, you're going to see a paper that says pre-assessment. What in the world do you think that is? Lily, what is it? That's right. You're going to tell us what you know. There are 3 questions on this paper. The first question says, what is an integer? The second question says, give an example of a positive integer. The third question says, give an example of a negative integer. I need you to fill those out. I'm going to put some time on the clock. And as soon as you complete those 3 questions, I want you to fold it up hot hamburger style. And let me see, who is my paper taker upper? Adam, I believe it's your way. Adam, will you go around when they raise their paper up, raise it high so Adam can see it? Adam, when you take those up, will you bring those to my desk? Okay, awesome. Great. So we're getting this pre-assessment so we can see what you know about integers, because I want you to be integer experts. Who wants to be an integer expert? If you see positive or negative integers that need to be multiplied or divided, I want you to be the expert that says, oh, Miss Porter told us how to do that. We know that. We're integer experts. Okay, so does Adam have the erased paper and is all papers on my desk? Cool beans! Now, is love a positive or a negative thing? It's positive, absolutely. Well, is hate a negative or a positive thing? Negative, absolutely. Now, love equals positive, hate equals negative. Let's say that together. Love equals positive, hate equals negative. One more time. Love equals positive, hate equals negative. Love, positive. Let's all make the positive sign. Hate, negative. Let's all make the negative sign. Awesome. Okay, now, what I would like for you to do is I would like for you to take out the guided notes that I had the paper passer outers give you. And we're not going to take them in our interactive notebook yet, but what we're going to do is we're going to start taking our notes, okay? Now, you will see that it says on your notes that some of the words are filled in and some of the words are missing. There's a blank for them. So when I get to the word that's missing, I want you to shout it out if you know it. Okay? Okay? When multiplying a positive integer by a positive integer, the product will be a positive integer. Thumbs up. The same rule applies to division. So let's say that. When dividing a negative integer by a negative When dividing a positive integer by a positive integer, the quotient will be a positive integer. Positive times positive equals a positive. A negative times a negative equals a what do you think? Can you make a hypothesis, which is an informed question? Can you make an hypothesis on what's going to happen? What could be? Do you think it's a positive? If you think it's positive, raise your hand. If you think it's going to be negative, raise your hand. Well, let's read this. When multiplying a negative integer by a negative integer, the product is a positive integer. If you said that the negative integer times a negative integer would be a positive, kiss your brain. Woo! The same rule applies for division. So let's say the division together. When multiplying a negative integer by a negative integer, the quotient is a positive integer. Now you remember that when you are multiplying, the answer is a product. And when you are dividing, the answer is a quotient. Awesome. But now this is going to get just a little more complicated. Are you ready? When multiplying a negative integer by a positive integer, the product is a negative integer. The same rule applies to division. So when dividing a negative integer with a positive integer, the quotient is a negative integer. When multiplying a positive integer with a negative integer, the product is a negative integer. The same rule applies to division. So let's say the division. When dividing a positive integer by a negative integer, the product is a negative number. A negative integer. The same rule applies to division, and we just said that, right? Okay, now, this is where the love-hate analogy comes into play. Are you ready? Now, when you love to love. Now, wait a minute. Let's think about this. We said love equals what? Positive. So when we positive to positive, we positive, right? So that would be when you love to love, you are positive. That means a positive and a positive equals a positive. So let's do it together. A positive times a positive equals a positive. Okay? Did everybody get that written down? Fill in your blanks. If you need more time, you need to raise your hand. Devin, I've got you. You go ahead. Complete it, honey. You're fine. We'll wait just a few minutes. Okay. When you hate to hate, you love. That means a negative and times a negative equals a positive. A negative times a negative equals a positive. When you love to hate, you hate, which we said love is positive. So when you love positive and multiply hate, which is negative, it equals hate, which is negative. So it's positive times a negative equals a negative. When you have hate times love, it equals hate. So you hate negative times love, which is positive. You hate, which is negative. So love times love is love. So positive times positive equals a positive. And a negative times a negative, that also equals a positive. But when you have different signs, love, positive, hate, negative, it equals a negative sign. So that's telling me if I have a positive and a positive, I get a positive. A negative and a negative, I get a negative. If I have a positive and a negative, I get a negative. If I have a negative and a positive, I get a negative. Now let's say it together. A positive and a positive equals a positive. A negative and a negative equals a negative. A negative and a positive equals a negative. A positive and a negative equals a negative. Oh my gosh. I think you've got it. It's almost like you guys are rapping. I'm impressed. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to all take your notes, your interactive notes that you've wrote all this stuff down on, and I want you to fold it hamburger style. So that's not lengthwise. That's the way we do it. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to get 2 pieces of tape. There should be tape on your desk. Take 2 pieces of tape and tape it down in your notebook. Now behind me on the smart board, there is 3 problems that are practicing multiplying positive and negative integers, and there are 3 problems that are practicing dividing positive and negative integers. And what I am going to do is I'm going to work it out under my document camera with you guys. Now I'm going to call on each one of you, and you are going to tell me the answers as we work it out. Okay, the first one is a multiplication problem, and we have 6 times a positive 6 times a negative 9. Now let's use our love-hate analogy. We have love times hate. What do we get? We get hate. So love is positive and hate is negative, and that gives us a negative. Okay, so what is 6 times 9? We know our answer is going to be a negative. But what's 6 times 9? Lily, what's 6 times 9? Good, 54. So our answer is a negative 54. Guys, I want you to look up here on the smartboard and I want you to write all that down. Okay? Make sure you've got that. Write it in your interactive notebook. Good. Okay? Now, let's do the next one is negative 9 times a negative 1. Now let's put our analogy in place. What's this first one? Adam, what is that? Is that love or hate? Very good. Hate times, and what's this one, Cole? Hate. Good. So if we've got hate times hate, what do we get? Love. Very good. Now we know that hate is a negative and hate is a negative, but we get a positive. So we know that our answer is going to be positive. Okay? So, Keith, what is not negative 9 times negative 1? Good. We know our answer is positive, so it's 9. Very good. Very good. Okay. All right, well, let's do our last one. So we've got 7, a positive 7 times a negative 4. So let's see. Annabella, this is yours. Okay, so what about this 7? If this is it's a love times, and what is the 4? The 4 is a hate. So if we have love and hate, we get a hate. Good. So love is what? Let's let somebody else do it. Azalea, you want to? Okay. What is it? Positive. Good. And what about hate? Is that positive or negative? Negative. And what about our answer? It means our answer will be negative. Okay. So now we set up our problem. We know that a positive 7 and times a negative 4 is going to give us a negative number. So what is our negative number? Good. Negative 28. Okay? Now we did 3 multiplication problems. Let's do 3 division problems. We've got 56, a positive 56 divided by a negative 8. Okay? Let's do this one together. So this is a positive 56. So this is hate divided by, I'm so sorry. You guys should have corrected me. It's love divided by hate equals what? Good. Hate. Good. So this is positive times negative equals a negative. So we know that a positive 56 divided by a negative 8 is going to give us a negative number. So everybody shout out the answer. 7. Good. What about a positive 48 divided by 8? So it's love equals a love. So a positive divided by a positive gives us a positive. Okay, shout out the answer. 6. Awesome. Okay, so one more division. Let's do negative 21 divided by negative 7. So we've got hate divided by hate equals hate. A negative divided by a negative. Oh, it doesn't equal hate. It equals love. I was just testing you guys. Shout out the answer. 3. Good. Now, I am very proud of the way you guys are catching on with this. So what I want you to do is I'm going to go ahead and have my paper pacer outers come up here and get these paper right here. And on this paper that we're giving you, they have 5 multiplication of positive and negative integers, and it has 5 division. I want you to try to get those done today and get as many as you can done before we leave class. Okay, I want Adam and Lily, Keith, and Annabella. I want you guys to come back to my back table back here, and we're going to work those problems out together. And then the rest of you, raise your hand, and I will call on you, and you can come back to the table if you have any questions, or I can come to you. Does that sound okay? Good, good, awesome. Okay, guys, so we're going to work on these problems while the rest of these guys work on that, okay? Good. So what I need you to do is I need you to go ahead and work those out. I need you to work those out, and